So here's our game board. You can see both players' health and names, uh, all the basic ships and their costs, all the upgraded ships and their costs. This is human versus human, of course. We also have some numbers here to track healing and damage. Uh, we learnt about the defender, which heals you one, the fighter that deals one damage. We also learnt about the orbital that gives you an extra line each turn. I'll talk about the other ships as we build them. So let's go. Turn one, we'll start with this 5. I'm going to build a fighter for 3 lines, so 2 left over. If you're playing on paper, you may draw those lines or just note that you've saved them. In Figma, we use the saved lines counter to count our partial ships. Nina is going to save the 5 lines. She wants to go for a bit more of a control strategy with some of these value generating ships. So that's the build phase. We roll and draw ships. Then the battle phase, we do our damage and healing and powers. So we know that the fighter deals 1 damage. Noted that here. Nina takes 1 damage down to 24. And that's the end of turn 1. Turn 2, let's roll. It's a 3. So I have 5 available. Nina has 8 available. I will build another fighter and hang on to those 2 lines. Nina's going to build an orbital for 6. As we know, this gives 1 bonus line each turn, which we can note here. So that's the build phase of turn 2. Battle phase, I'm now doing 2 damage. So Nina takes 2 down to 22. On to turn 3, let's roll. It's a 6, so that means 8 for me, and for Nina, 6 plus the 2 plus the 1 from her orbital is 9. Let me just think what I want to do. I think both players will actually build a carrier to start with. So that's 6 lines from each. Now the carrier is a bit like an orbital, a value generating ship. It has 6 charges, and for 1 charge it can make a defender. For 2 charges it can make a fighter. And you mark those charges off as you use them. There's 1 charge for each of the 6 sides of the hexagon. So on paper or in Figma, you mark them like this as you use them. And it's a great value generating ship. For the initial 6 lines, it can build 3 fighters that's worth 9 lines. Or it can build 6 defenders over 6 turns, which is worth 12 lines. But it takes longer to obviously get them out. We could have instead built 3 defenders straight away to get immediate healing. But yeah, the carrier is the backbone of the human fleet, along with the orbital. So both players built a carrier that turn. Nina's still taking 2 damage. That's okay. She's got her orbital to generate value over time. And that's the end of turn 3. Turn 4, let's roll. It's a 5, so I have 7 here. Nina has 9 again. Let's just have a think. Firstly, our carriers will build. I'm going to use 2 charges to make another fighter. And build another carrier. Let's go for it. So 6 there. Nina's carrier will use 1 charge to make a defender. So she now has 1 healing against the 3 damage coming in. Do we want another orbital or another carrier, or consider some kind of upgrade path? I think an orbital may be too greedy facing this strategy. These carriers are going to start making a lot of fighters. So let's just build another carrier that's flexible, that can make defenders or fighters. Do we want to hang on to 3 lines? 3, I think that's still fine. Not that much damage coming in. So that's our build phase. We built more carriers, and our carriers from last turn made their ships, used their charges. So Nina's taking another 2 here. That's the end of turn 4. Let's roll. It's a 4. So 5 for me and 7, 8 for Nina. My 2 carriers will make 2 fighters. So now we have 5 fighters. We'll use a number. Once we get more than 3 or 4 ships, we can use a number to start counting them. So we have 5 now, and that's without spending any lines. Let's make a commander 2 now. I'll explain what that does. So commander costs 4, and it deals 1 damage for every 3 fighters that you have. So it's a cheap way to scale your damage. At the moment, it's only doing 1 because we have 5 fighters, but we're going to make more, and this will increase over the course of the game. Nina has 8 lines available. We could make another carrier or an orbital. I'm also thinking we could make a battle cruiser right now. So let's do that. We'll use 2 charges from each carrier to make 2 fighters, like so. Our defender from before can join in here. So with 6 joining lines, we can make a battle cruiser, like so. Battle cruiser has arrived. It gives you 2 bonus lines per turn. It heals for 3, and it does 2 damage. So very powerful ship. So 5, this damage is now 6 because of our commander. Nina's healing for 3 and dealing 2 damage. So taking 3 down to 15. That's the end of turn 5. Let's keep going. Rolled a 2, so 3 for me and 6 for Nina with her battle cruiser and her 2 saved lines. This carrier will use its last 2 charges to make a fighter. That carrier is now depleted. It could be used in upgraded ships, but not in this game. Our other carrier will also make a fighter, so we have 7. Our commander now increases as we have, it's 1 for every 3. We now have 7, so it's doing 2 damage, and our damage has gone up to 9. Do we want to build 1 more fighter? That means that next turn we will hit 9 fighters for extra damage on this and potential future commanders. I think actually we will, just because, yeah, if we roll a 4, it means extra damage now and next turn. Okay. And our damage is actually 10 here. So Nina's taking quite a bit of damage. We could... She has 6 lines. We could build a carrier. These 2 carriers will make defender each, so we've got 2 defenders here. We still haven't spent any lines. Do we want to make another carrier, or are we feeling in danger and want to make just 3 defenders? We're currently taking 5 down to 10. Let's make 3 defenders. I think we need that healing now, so that reduces the incoming damage just to 2, which sounds more manageable. And let's not forget our 2 damage from our battle cruiser onto me. Okay, that's the end of turn 6. Let's roll. It's a 4. So good for me, because I did want to build a commander. That's 6 for Nina. Carrier makes a fighter, and we've now hit that threshold for our commander to do 3 damage, and we're actually going to make another commander with our 4 lines here. So what's that, 15 coming in. Nina is healing for 8. Again, we could make 3 defenders. Let's first make some from our carriers and look what that does. So that's 10, taking 5. Nina would really like to make another carrier if we're not dying. And we're not dying, so let's do that. At some stage, the control player will need to start doing some damage more than just the battle cruiser. We've got our +2 lines. We're not dying right now. So we've made another carrier. Let's do that 2 damage here. And we're taking 5 here, so 8. It's a bit scary, depending on this roll, but look, both of my carriers are depleted, so yeah, at most maybe I'm adding 3 damage per turn. We got 3 carriers active for Nina. A 1 is very good for Nina. I can't do anything with that 1, so my damage stays the same. I can't remember if I incremented this turn or not. It doesn't matter. 1 is 3 for Nina, and we can build at least 1 defender there. 2, 3. Yep, let's do that. We'll add damage. We'll add damage soon. 10, 13. So taking 2. We could manually build another defender. Let's do that just to make sure we don't die. Again, we have the battle cruiser, we have the bonus lines. So taking 2 down to 6. Let's see what the dice does. Let's increment the turn this time. Turn 8, rolling a 4, so not bad for me. We can add another commander. So I'm just going to put a 3 here. So this is 3 times 3. It's 9, so 18. 18 damage. And that cost 4 lines, of course. A 4 for Nina takes us to 5, 7. so that's okay. Okay, this one has to make a defender. Still a lot of damage coming in. This can make a defender too, so we're currently on 16. Okay, maybe we can stabilize. Again, we do need to do some damage at some stage, but taking 2, we could take 3. We really want to build a tactical and a fighter, ideally. Maybe next turn. Let's build 3 defenders. So 16, 19. Now we're actually healing 1 and dealing 2. 15 to 7, turn 9. Let's roll. It's a 2. The aggro build is kind of running out of steam here. We never got that 3rd carrier. We could build a fighter, but yeah, the healing is... Let's just save. We have a little bit of health to work with. It feels like maybe the tide is turning though. 3 plus 2 is 5, not enough for a carrier, but maybe we can build some kind of damage here. Yes, let's do that. We'll build a fighter here. So 3 damage. We don't quite have enough. Oh, we do. We do have enough for a tactical, but it won't be doing, it'll only be doing 1, 2, 3. 3 damage, 5. Let's... Just thinking here. We would love to build a tactical next turn. Let's just manually build a fighter and a defender. You know, we are low, very low health, so that uses all our lines. Puts a little bit more pressure on the aggro player, me, who has no healing at the moment. Okay, so I take 4 and Nina heals 2. So yeah, again, I think the tide is swinging even without building specific damage. Let's go, 10 and 10. Rolling a 4. 7 for the aggro player. You don't really want to build healing. I mean, the battle cruiser is just going to outpace us now, I think. Let's just keep going for it. We'll build another commander, and we may as well do that fighter. The game is almost over, I think. So 6 for Nina and 1 active carrier. This can make another fighter. And let's go ahead and just double check that we're not going to die if we make a tactical cruiser, because of course we've used 2 defenders to make this tactical cruiser. We can take 1 of them, so 16, and we'll draw 1. And then we'll use 3 lines to join to get our tactical cruiser like this. So the tactical cruiser does 1 damage per ship type. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 types of ship. So it's doing 5 damage. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. I am doing 10 plus 4 commanders that are doing 3 each. So 22. Nina's healing has gone down to 19. We used one of the existing defenders to make this. So what are we on? Nina's taking 3 and I'm taking 9. So let's go, turn 11. It's a 3. I have 3. Nina has 4, 5, 6. Yes, the aggro really ran out of steam. We probably needed that third carrier just so we could hit that, the 12 fighters for the stronger commander. No worries. We've got 3 lines. We'll build a fighter. Damage goes up to 23, but I think it's lights out for me. Nina just needs to be careful not to accidentally die by using too many defenders making another tactical cruiser. In fact, we don't need to do anything. We already have the damage. So let's just build 2 more fighters with our 6. And we're doing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. So -9 for me, and Nina takes 4 here, goes to 2, and that's the end of the game. Pretty close, maybe some different dice rolls or a tighter strategy from the aggro player may have won there, looked pretty close. The control won in the end. If you enjoyed this, we're going to look at some more games in the next video. There is quite a lot of different strategies and builds in this game. Here's some of my test games. And of course, we've only looked at human versus human in this video. We haven't even begun to look at the other species, all the other builds that are possible. Thanks for watching.